Chapter 4 of Just Stories, the Kind That Never Grow Old by WINFRID HERBST, SDS. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Maria Therese. A Letter to St. Joseph. Did this really happen? Yes. When? At the close of the 17th century. Where? At Lamgrube, a suburb of Vienna, Austria. Now we have a start. So here is the lovely story. Paul Merton, the famous musician, was seated in his room with Josephine, his 16-year-old daughter. The room was poor and cold, and Mr. Merton was hungry, for those were hard times because of the wars with the Turks, and he was in bitter poverty, in actual destitution. "Father," said Josephine, "tomorrow I am going out to look for work. I am your daughter, and I must help you in your need, for both of us must live. Won't you please let me?" "What!" exclaimed the musician. "Do you also want to leave me as all my friends have done? You are all I have, and do you, too, want to go?" Paul Merton was bitter. He was even beginning to rebel against the benign providence of God. "No, Father," said the girl soothingly. "It's just for your sake, you know. I've written to relatives asking for help and have not yet received any answer." "Very little assistance one may expect from such false friends," exclaimed Mr. Merton hotly. "They are all alike, faithless in time of need." "Oh!" cried Josephine suddenly. "I know what I'll do. I'll write a letter to dear St. Joseph. Why didn't I think of it before? Why, he always helps, and in everything." "Just as though that poor carpenter could alleviate our distress," said the father with a half contemptuous smile. "Oh, but he will, and I'll write him a note at once, and have my turtle dove carry it to him. Poor little dove, I could not even give it a piece of bread today." So Josephine wrote the following letter. "Hail, O St. Joseph, have pity on us in our great affliction. We have no work, nor any means of sustenance. Pray our dear Lord that he may help me find work, for my father is suffering from hunger. From thy faithful child, Josephine Merton." She fastened it round the neck of the little white turtle dove, and let the poor creature fly out through the window. Then she waited. Half an hour passed. Suddenly there was a rap at the door. A stranger entered. "Is this Mr. Paul Merton's home?" he asked. "Yes," said Mr. Merton in a short, irritated manner. "What do you want?" "I have been sent by St. Joseph, to whom I have a special devotion," said the visitor meekly. "He tells me that you are seeking employment. My name is Joseph Charles Hurt, a jeweler of this city, and it happens that I am in need of help. I have just joined the choir of the Carmelite church here, and must now perfect myself by taking lessons. You are just the man who is able to give them to me, and, as I always pay in advance, here are 5 ducats. Can you begin the lessons tomorrow morning?" Mr. Merton was too surprised for words. He merely nodded, thoroughly ashamed of his previous unchristian conduct. "And," continued Mr. Hurt, "I have heard that your daughter here is very skilful with the needle. I would be pleased indeed if she would give her time to the high-class embroidery that I have on hand." "Oh, I would so gladly do that!" cried Josephine. "How good dear St. Joseph is!" "Yes, go to Joseph always," said Mr. Hurt with a happy smile. "He is sure to help." How did it happen? Why, the turtle dove, weak from long fasting and burdened with the letter, could not fly far. About a block away it noticed an open window, and trustfully flew into the room and alighted on Mr. Hurt's desk. Imagine how surprised he must have been. He saw the letter round the pigeon's neck, removed it, broke the seal, and read the contents. It was just like a message from St. Joseph himself, and he hastened to obey his glorious patron in the way we have seen above. How wonderful God's ways are! Dearest, never again say you do not see how God and His saints can do this or that for you. Just ask with childlike confidence. Ask, and you shall receive. End of chapter 4.